There's 4 of us here.
We will start with the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have one board member who has called in for the evening, and he will participate, but we will go ahead and take the votes as seen, not heard tonight, just for legality's sake. All right, we move on to our consensus agenda.
So I move we approve the vouchers and payrolls that were paid last month. Accounts payable vouchers are $601,395.69. Payrolls are $507,883.83. That gives us a grand total expenditures of $1,109,279.52. Along with that, I move we approve the minutes from our past month's meetings.
I'll second that.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Kevin, we're going to go ahead and, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take the visual vote this evening, but we want you to participate.
Okay.
Okay. Patrons' comments.
So quit saying aye.
Anyone have a patron's comment for the evening? All right, we'll move on to the public hearing for the superintendent report. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Move we open the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Any discussion on the superintendent's contract?
Tom, you got anything you want to say?
For all administrators, including the superintendent, we just increased their salaries the same amount that we negotiated with the teachers, which is coming up in the agenda, so everything equal.
Motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close that.
Second.
Been moved by Wes, second by Steve. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. All right, on to personnel.
All right, I recommend in the ECA category, I recommend the approval of Josh Alcindor as the 8th grade boys basketball coach. And then obviously with mid-year concerns that went on, we had Mr. Eunice take over the varsity football position. So we also, just for board's sake, making sure that we approve that. Obviously he's already approved staff member, but making sure for the record that he was approved as the varsity football coach. So I recommend both of those.
I move we approve both of those people in their positions.
This is 4-0.
All right, since October 1st, when we're actually allowed to start bargaining, we've worked closely with the Triton Teachers Association to create the master contract. I want to thank Tom McFarland, obviously our business manager, for doing that, knowing all the numbers and just making sure that obviously there's the fiscal responsibility piece of that, but also rewarding our teachers and thanking them for the hard work that they put in each year. So I would, the top two pieces there, I would recommend the approval of both the master teacher contract and the administration contract. As Tom mentioned, we wait to do administrative contracts after the teacher's contract is created, so that's equal, and essentially they're in the same pool. So.
We approve the master teacher contract and the administration contracts as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Ken, seconded by Wes. Any discussion?
Has it been approved by Teachers Association yet?
It has to be approved by them before it comes here. So we did the 72-hour meeting last Monday, which was their tentative agreement. They approved the tentative agreement last Monday. We had our public hearing, and then this is the ratification meeting as done by law, 72 hours in between.
Okay. So I need to recuse
Recuse
myself
yourself.
from at least one.
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor? All right, so motion passes
So only one? Not at
4-0.
least.
And for Mrs. Stichter, it will be 301. So, all right.
I recommend the approval of the resignation of Zach Whitaker as teacher and varsity football coach effective 10/14/24.
Second.
This has been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
I recommend the approval of Amy Overmeyer as the junior, senior high school math teacher that will be taking the place of Mr. Elliott mid-year.
Did we steal her from somebody?
We are going to approve her.
Are we stealing her from someone?
She was formerly at Argus.
That's
Yes.
what I thought. That's what I thought. Like,
She
she's
did-
currently at Argus.
She didn't come out of retirement.
She will formally be there as of January.
Okay. Did we?
No, we're waiting.
I'll move we hire her, approve her hire.
Second.
Moved by Wes, seconded by Steve. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
All right, for classified staff, I recommend the approval after 33 years of employment at Triton School Corporation. Miss June Klotz has chosen to retire, so she's excited about that. But in her letter, obviously thanked everybody for the years of just the years. So I would like to recommend that and/or the resignation of Sierra Hart as high school cafeteria worker effective 11/30/2024, as she had her little kiddo and is doing well.
Do you want to put in the substitute teacher or wait?
We'll do that one
Okay.
separate. Sorry.
Move we approve those resignations as submitted.
Second?
Moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
And last but not least, I'd like to recommend the approval of Jacqueline Schetzel as a substitute teacher.
Move we approve that hire.
Second?
Been moved by Ken, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. On to business.
All right, I'd like to recommend the approval of the second reading and approval of policy volume 36, number 1, March 2024. As is customary, quarterly, we meet with Ryan Snoddy from the Neola policy group to go over a variety of different policies. There's all sorts of different ones in there, but this is the volume of policies that we reviewed with Mr. McCann sat in with us last time, along with Laura Baker. So I'd like to recommend the approval of the second reading of those.
I move we approve those policies as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
I'd like to recommend the approval of the 2025-26 Indiana Education Service Center Food Co-op member annual contract. This just allows us to be part of quantity purchasing when it comes to cafeteria items. Sometimes our trash service is through them, and then they provide a lot of professional development. That's Northern Indiana Education Service Center. Don Harmon is the executive director. It just allows us to be a member, which we have been for many, many years.
Move we approve that contract.
Second?
Moved by Ken, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
Last but not least, I'd like to recommend the approval of the FFA members to attend the National Farm and Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky, in February.
I couldn't read some of the signatures on that request from them.
Are you concerned they're falsified?
I don't know if I should approve them if I can't read them.
You do have that right.
I approve the ones I can read. Are there others going besides?
I believe there's others
your
going,
signature
those are the ones that were
There's
present.
one, okay.
Yeah.
I'll move we approve that.
Do you want to go along, Wes?
I've always wanted to go to that, but
Have you never
It's in
been?
February.
I haven't been.
It's in February, you could go.
I think it sounds like a fun place to
We'll
go.
see.
Well,
I don't know if I want to go for 3 days.
All right, it's been moved by Wes, seconded by Ken. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor? Motion passes 4-0. And I think we might have a
going, Terry?
chaperone. No, I've
No, I'm
gone
not
forever.
Chaperoning. Go by myself. I have to watch the kids for 3 days.
All right, on to superintendent's report.
All right. First of all, I just want to wish our veterans a happy Veterans Day. Super, super proud of both our elementary and our high school programs that took place today, just to set aside a little bit of time in our day to thank them for their service to our amazing country. So it's pretty awesome. Had a lot of good feedback from those veterans that at the elementary ended up having a little breakfast and just got to spend some time with one another, and the student council fed them, so that's always a really, really awesome time. So they did a great job. Our students were very respectful in the crowd and just making sure that the attention wasn't on them, but on the veterans that were there to celebrate. Triton's reputation in the career and technical education internship arena is solid. The hard work put in by our counselors and administrators to find the best placements, but ultimately our students giving their best and performing when given the opportunity is what has continued to grow Triton's reputation in this area as a solid placement and oftentimes worthy of placement after high school. So over the last few weeks, you've seen we had multiple people. I guess we even had some of our high ability students from the elementary go to Alpha Flight, but our building and trades has been recognized. Precision machinery, a couple of our students were right there working on help me remember the program, Ignite, and that's new, and that's putting our students into programs where eventually could lead to jobs and interests, and just trying to find their passions through that. So that continues to go really well. I think Jen Felke, especially for the CTE piece of that, and Allie Shook on the Lifelong Learning Network end of that, just doing a great job giving our kids experiences. The Fall Variety Show, we talk about continuous improvement, was a huge success. Over 30 students were involved in that. I know one. Anybody else involved in that? Okay. It was awesome. Over 30 students were involved in the November 2nd Silver Scream Variety Show produced by Mrs. Atkinson, and all of those in attendance had a good time. So just awesome job. 30 students involved in that. It was great to see. Shared leadership. During this segment, I simply want to thank and pay tribute to Tony Ross. Since our last meeting, he lost his life, and just simply an individual that loved Triton students. He was at our CTE banquets. He was just recently at our Dream Day. He would cover our athletics, but anytime you connected with him, he had really, really great things to say, not only probably about Triton students, but other students. I realized that, but in the end, it was always good for him to recognize those things. We did have a couple individuals that did their internship placement at the radio station to learn a little bit about that. So just want to thank Tony for his leadership and promotion of our local schools and ultimately our students. You'll be missed. I do want to thank our seniors in each of our fall sports and extracurricular events. Seniors play an important role in establishing a culture of continuous improvement and hard work. This year, seniors have grown up a lot and continue to grow, have awesome plans for the future, and they've done their best to lead well in their sphere of influence. Social responsibility, I already mentioned this a little bit, but today both the elementary and the junior high had their Veterans Day programs that were just outstanding, so I appreciate the time and effort put into that. Our FFA made it a point to thank farmers a few weeks back while they were in the middle of harvest. So they took lunch to them during harvest. The many farmers they reached out to say thank you for thinking of them and supporting their efforts. So being a good neighbor is the social responsibility piece to our community members, and I feel like that was a pretty awesome gesture. Accountability, Tom in the business office just completed their most recent audit, and I just personally want to thank Tom, Ashley Staten, Ashley Dahl, and Mindy Davis for their conscientious work and care for Triton School Corporation finances. An audit closing meeting will happen in the coming weeks, but Crow was thankful for our team's organization and prompt reporting. So I know that takes a lot of time and effort, so thank you, Tom. And I know our building levels had some things that they had to produce, and of course they did that in a very timely manner. And that's just the constant upkeep of those things throughout. High expectations. I want to congratulate our volleyball team for winning their conference championship. Also, just came out this week, Maya Davis, A. Revere, Sierra Hawley, and Allie Westifer achieved all-conference recognition. Clara Dahl was honorable mention. Congratulations to the Spirit of Triton Marching Band on reaching the Isthmus Semi-State since we've met together. They accomplished that semi-state goal. Didn't quite go as far as they wanted to, I know that, but in the end, just continuing to establish themselves as a quality band in this area. FFA Soils teams placed 27th and 46th in the state contest, while Colton Large placed 15th as an individual. And then, was that Colton? Yes. Caden Large qualified for the varsity cross-country regional, where he saw some incredibly stiff competition. So he got there, but he found out that it's tough to advance. Travis Barnhart and Caden Large were first team all-academic all-state in cross-country. Roy Heckerman achieved academic all-state honorable mention. And Andrea Ford, just last Saturday, was in our first year inaugural girls IHSAA girls wrestling. She won her weight class at I think we're allowed to do this now, right? Because it's girls wrestling, 125 pounds. So she won her weight class in their first tournament. So, yeah. So there again, we've had girls that have wrestled before, but this is the first year where they have their own coach, their own team, and will compete at the IHSAA tournament. So that's a great way to start the year. So I think they're pretty jazzed up about that, so that's good. Alignment, October 9th, Triton Junior Senior High School brought 17 colleges, 30 businesses, and 2 military branches in for the Dream Day. So just an outstanding day, which was after, obviously, our last board meeting, but we were in the process of planning for that. And sorry, Nate, for taking all your items, but that was a great day. Manufacturing Day also took place. Once again, Nate's probably got that on his list. October 29th, where our students went to Faulkner Fabricating, NISCO, and Southwire just to get a taste of what those businesses offer both our communities and what they could offer them as an employee. And I know that when they came back from that, they immediately, I know Mr. McCann, I happened to be in there with the counselors, talking about next year, what does it look like if we even give them the opportunity to interview in some of these places when we go for that visit. So just trying to find our kiddos' passions and giving them opportunities as they leave our walls. Feed My Starving Children took place with a lot of our junior hires last Thursday. And once again, a lot of those kids that don't like to necessarily sit in class all day really respond to those service events. I know a couple names. One name specifically was Cameron Nettrower, was brought up, and he just did a wonderful job in his little group, and they just loved having him there. So a kiddo that just thrived in that environment. Evidence-based decision-making. I want to thank Melissa LaSure and our teachers for utilizing data from iLearn checkpoint assessments to reteach and continue to look for ways to better our students' mastery on assessed skills. And I'd also like to thank Mr. David Cook and Mrs. Murphy for their work on creating a junior high intervention for English language arts. They're working together to continue to grow students' capacity and drill down on skill development. That is all I have. Be more than happy to take any questions.
We'll open it up for patrons' comments again. Any patrons' comments? If not, we will move on to building reports. Mrs. Cook?
Probably not.
If she's talking.
All right. Well, since Mr. McCann doesn't have anything to report, I'll just finish up for everybody. No, lots of great things going on. I'm not going to go backwards too far since we met for the last time, but October is a really busy time, and there was a lot going on, so I'm going to kind of just go a little bit back and then move forward. It was great today to have to honor veterans, and I really want to thank Mrs. Sheets and Mrs. LaSure. Really, the three of us kind of plan a lot of things, but then there were a lot of people who helped out. Miss Aldifer did a great job already preparing some students with some music for us, and it was just a wonderful time. It makes us think that as we were preparing students and modeling what it means to live in a democracy and to be grateful, I think, to some of the people who make this happen. We were if we back up about a week, we were able to hold our own election. And I think that's another way that we were able to model what it looks like to be a citizen in the United States, for everyone to have a vote. And I think our sixth grade did a really good job. Mrs. Vermillion helped the sixth graders who campaigned for their three different candidates, which were favorite snacks, cookies, chips, or cupcakes. And they did ads that were very tasteful but clever, and they were very enthusiastic about it, and designed posters, got everybody excited. But when it came time to actually casting our vote, we had 541 votes cast on election day in a very peaceful demonstration of democracy. And students got to go through that process. Sixth graders helped. We got stickers and everything, and they worked as, worked the polls, and it was great. In the end, we were all happy because, well, most of us were happy that we chose a winner, and not everybody may have been happy, but it was peaceful. So those kinds of things that we can teach our kids, this is just something we do in a democracy, and then turn around the next week and thank the veterans who actually, make some of that possible and protect some of those freedoms. So I thought those were good life lessons for our kids in the last couple weeks. And today. We have a lot of things that are upcoming. We have more music programs that are coming up. We have family literacy night tomorrow night, where our numerous teachers are taking their time off. We're inviting families to come in with their kids and get a taste of what it is like to prepare our students and to help them practice their reading skills. This is primarily for kindergarten through third grade age kids. And so the activities, teachers have different activities. They can go to different stations. And I'm excited about that. I hope we have at least a dozen turn out. It will be worth it if they come. So maybe we'll have 50, who knows? So we're excited about that. We have another one planned for in the spring as well. This Thursday on our staff professional development, we're going to, again, teachers become the learners, and we have paraprofessionals who are also going to be working on the science of reading, and we have one of our occupational therapists who's going to come in, talk about how we could give appropriate sensory breaks for our students and what that looks like. And teachers are going to be working more on our reading adoption, which is really critical as we move forward, that we get a good program that's going to help teachers help students become proficient in reading. Our PTO is going to man a RIF distribution. That's a free book giveaway on November 19th. And we have a first grade music program coming up on November 25th. I think that's it.
All right, for the junior, senior high school, some of this will be a repeat, but on October 29th, we did our manufacturing day, so we had a handful of sophomores that we took to 3 different locations, and those are students that maybe haven't really been able to pinpoint what it is they want to do after high school, or maybe still trying to figure that out. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to see what we have locally or in surrounding communities that are really good options for our students after graduation. So appreciate to have the opportunity to do that from those businesses, but also Mrs. Arvison and Mrs. Faulkner just setting those up. Also on the 29th, we had our Monster Mash, which is our junior high dance. I want to say we had between 85 and 90 students show up to that, so it was a really good turnout. Appreciate Nancy Nordman, Paul Williams, and David Cook for just their efforts in giving our junior high just something fun to do. On November 1st, we had our junior high incentive trip, and that was a movie and a pizza party. We also had popcorn, so we kind of took a Halloween theme on that one, and we watched 2 movies in the auditorium, which is really just a great movie theater. So I think that was a really exciting time. And I think we had 95 students qualify for our first incentive trip. Let's see here. Back to the Veterans Day program. Again, really good opportunity to recognize just those that sacrifice for our country. Loved seeing our students share and just some of their personal experiences. I thought our students were very respectful as far as just being an audience and taking in that important time. But, Mr. Young, see here, Candace Haynes, David Seal just put a lot of effort into that program, and I appreciate that. Some upcoming events here, November 14th, so this Thursday we have staff PD, so that's a late arrival day, and junior senior high school is going to have a focus on AI, and we're going to try and take a look at how we can maybe use that to benefit us, but also safeguard from some of those temptations that maybe we have to use that at cheating or however you want to think about that. November 16th, so this coming Saturday, we have our semi-formal dance, and that's hosted by our DECA Club and Mrs. Kennedy. November 21st, we have a CTE fair over at Plymouth. That'll be for our sophomores. And then December 2nd, we have our FAFSA night at 6 p.m., just an opportunity for families to come in and get assistance as they fill out that important paperwork. So that's what I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other business, we'll move to adjourn at 7:26.